Welcome back, Prash. It's such a honor and namaste to you for
Yes.
coming back and helping us understand a little bit more about the Vedic way of life. And today we would like to take it from where we left it last time, which is about basics and understand a little bit from you as to how to you actually practice the basics and how can we learn to live the Vedic way and what is the Vedic way of learning as compared to what we have been taught in the modern times. If you can enlighten us about that, that'll be a really good first step for all of us to understand that.
Yes, Roshni. This whole thing about learning. This word learning is a very important word. Okay, like because everyone wants to learn because when you don't know something, you want to learn something. Okay, now how do we go about learning? Okay, in any sort of framework, in any sort of thing, how do we go about actually learning in any way, shape, or form? So the thing is that in the modern times, like it's very simple. In the school system is there. Okay, people go to school, and
Yes,
then in that school you see the people are sitting on their chairs,
yes,
and the teacher, professor, or whosoever you want to call them, they are standing up and they are telling them things, and while these people are sitting on chairs. Okay,
so true.
which is which is exactly opposite
Yes,
of the Vedic system, where the teacher would be sitting up
yes,
under the tree or on like a little higher position, and all the students and the children will be sitting down on the ground.
right,
Okay, so that was the posture, like in the Vedic times, to
yes,
not sit on chair or these kind of things, and to sit down on the ground. It grounds you as well, and it
true,
gives you a very important thing called humility.
yes,
Okay, so
yes,
without humility, that word, no learning is possible according to the Vedic. That is the basis of any learning. Humility
true,
means like you don't know, and you agree to the fact that you don't know, and then you
yes,
want to learn, and then you are humble about it. Okay,
so
so
open-minded,
oh, and humble about it, like
yeah, humble,
you don't have an attitude.
yes,
Okay, like right now the attitude is there, like oh, I'm going to ask a question, you have to answer me.
yes,
Okay, so the whole thing in this attitude right now is such that people think that they can just ask questions.
yes,
Okay, and they think that asking questions is going to give them knowledge. Okay,
true,
if they ask questions, the answers will give them knowledge. Okay,
yes,
and the Vedic system was not like that at all. Vedic
yes,
system was like when your guru or teacher is there,
yes,
they're going to tell you the basics, and they're going to tell you everything which you need to know
true,
without you asking for it.
right,
Okay, they're going to let you know everything which is necessary for your development, your evolution, and for your learning. Okay,
yes,
in time.
yes,
So like this whole thing that you can suddenly just ask questions and through that get some information. Okay,
true,
and that information will somehow help you, is a
yes,
wrong notion. It's a modern notion. Okay,
yeah,
where like, so it's a whole culture where like first you don't have any kind of actual respect for the teacher.
yeah,
Okay, like you're
yes,
sitting on the chairs and the teacher's standing up and on the board, like
right,
what happens in schools. you know
yes,
like kids don't really have respect for those teachers, I mean,
yes,
who are out there. Like
yes,
there is no respect actually. Okay,
yes,
so the whole, because everyone knows this is just a joke, like like it's not a system to actually learn something
true,
for real. Okay,
yes,
but when you have real learning happening, then the Vedic thing is very clear about that it has to
yes,
happen with the disciple or the student really respects the teacher. Without
yes,
that respect,
right,
no learning is possible. Okay,
right,
because if you don't respect, then you'll say like, okay, there's no point to this, and whatever it says, I'm not going to pay attention to anyways. So
true,
whatever he or she says, I'm not going to pay any attention to. So then how am I going to learn or imbibe? Because
yes,
learning is about practical application.
true,
Okay, learning is about, like, when you learn something, you can apply it practically. It
yes,
should be practically applicable. If it's
yes,
not, then it's not learning.
yes,
If you can't apply it in your being and your actions, it's not learning at all anyways.
right,
Okay,
right,
so that's what the whole thing is here. That, like, right now, like, you're sitting down on the ground,
yes,
like you're sitting. So when you sit down on the ground, it gives you a better sense of perspective, or like there's a humility which comes in a being.
true,
Then when they sit on a chair, because chairs are what? Chairs are like thrones. Okay,
yes, true,
everybody's when everybody sits on the chair, they think, okay, now I'm on a throne, then I'm the king.
yes,
Okay, if you are the king, then you don't need to listen.
Yes.
to anybody. You're just going to pass orders and give executive orders, basically.
True.
Okay, you're not gonna be
Yes.
any position of learning. I mean, earlier times in Vedic times, even kings, if they were sitting on thrones and a rishi walked into their kingdom, they used to get up from the throne
Yes.
and move and that thing and fall at their feet. Okay,
Right.
that is the Vedic way. Like it's not a chair sitting kind of way, the
Right.
Vedic way. And
Right.
in the modern times, these chairs have been distributed all over the world. Okay,
True.
everyone has been given a chair,
Yes.
and so that people feel important and people
Right.
feel very proud, and their ego gets up.
Yes.
And then what happens? That reduces their humility,
True.
and then they are unable to learn.
True.
All these things are there to block a human being's ability to learn.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So, and like there's a whole lot of fight for chairs. Like a lot of people want a lot of chairs. Like someone wants a president's chair, someone wants a prime minister's chair, someone wants that chair, this chair. The
Right.
whole struggle
Yeah.
is for some chair or the other.
True.
Okay. Okay.
True.
So I mean, learning is not a part of this.
Yes.
That learning doesn't even figure in any of this fight for the chair.
Yeah.
Or even at
Very
normal
true.
people's homes, their sofas, these all kinds of things, and people just lounge around in it, and they'll be
Right.
browsing the internet, lounging around on the sofas, and then they think that they can learn something. If they're
Yes.
browsing, they're seeing some video or anything from online, and they think they're learning something while they are in that posture.
Yes.
In the Vedic time, no such thing was there. I mean, if a student was there who had to learn, then the rishis would put them in a proper sitting posture on the ground.
Right.
Then only they can be able to receive any kind of knowledge from
Yes.
them in that, not just lounging around some sofa somewhere,
Yeah.
watching a YouTube video and thinking you're gaining some knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the modern, what I would call it's a sort of a false notion that
True.
you can learn that way. Okay,
Yes.
but reality is you can't, and you cannot apply anything.
True. True.
You can watch million YouTube videos from million things, but you can't really actually apply anything into your life
Right.
in that way, because you are not going by the practical basics
Yes.
of what learning even is from the very get-go,
Right.
from the very basic point. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
If I can just recall some of the old movies in which they show that the rishi is sitting on a around a tree which is at a higher level, and the students are sitting on the ground.
Yes.
And the rishi is imparting knowledge.
Yes.
So that is what you're talking about. That kind of a
that's the Vedic Gurukul system.
Exactly.
Gurukul system, and it is all practical, hands-on learning. Okay, so when they are teaching them, they're teaching them how to sit first.
Yes.
How to take control of their body first.
Right.
How to speak first.
Yes.
All these things are being taught first.
Right.
Then only a being is a vehicle enough to receive more information and knowledge. Okay.
True.
So, and that too with proper respect, with proper humility, and all of that is happening in the right way, which is exactly opposite of the school system of today, which spoils people up to the age of 18, 20, or even more when they go to university.
Yeah.
So then they become useless for any actual learning. Okay.
Very
and
true.
everybody's given a chair, and then people sit on those chairs and feel like kings.
Yes.
Okay, and then it becomes very difficult to actually learn anything for real. Okay. And to my mind, obviously, all this is deliberate, like that everyone has been given a sofa and a chair right now. Is a deliberate action on, because just even 100 years ago, even in villages all over the world, people were sitting on the ground.
Yes.
I'm not talking very far away, like I'm just talking even 100 years ago, most of the people in the village, even right now, if you go to villages, a lot of people are still sitting on the ground.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, so the point is that, and the grounding doesn't happen without the ground, which I've talked about before.
True.
And another thing is this lack of respect which happens for the being who's actually teaching you. So if you don't have the respect for that being, then don't go and learn from that being.
Yes.
Only learn from a being when you have proper respect for them and you are sure that they can teach you something.
Very true.
And if you do have that feeling and complete thinking and holistic view of that being, then only you can learn from them. So that's the Vedic way. That's why they used to listen from and they will learn from those beings only.
Yes.
And they will not learn from just somebody, just, okay, this person just knows how to make, pots.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll learn how to make a pot. Okay.
Right.
That's not holistic learning.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Holistic learning is how you live your life, not how you will just make a pot. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So
Right.
people have to realize what learning actually is. Learning is like, how do I live my life in the best way possible for my evolution
True.
as a whole.
Yes.
That is what learning can be about. I mean, there's no just singular thing which a learning can be about.
Right.
Like just like making a pot or making this or making that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even in the
Yeah.
village panchayat meetings, they show that the
Yeah.
panchayat is sitting around a tree and everybody is sitting down. I guess what you're talking about is not so way back in the past. It is
Yeah. No, it is
very
not.
recently people were doing that, and
Yes.
suddenly things have now
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it has people have, which what people call modern, people call it more
modern. Yeah,
liberated.
the
Like
modern
people
world
think
is
that we have gotten better, we are getting better now. That's what
yes,
people consider progress and
right,
development. That if everybody gets a plastic chair or a chair in this world, people will call that progress and development. Okay.
true.
Yeah, that's like we are developing now. Okay.
Yeah, that's how
Okay.
deluded we've all become, you know.
Yes. So then that's some sort of progress. There's words called progress and development which are
Right.
used for these things. Okay.
True.
That these are two very funny words. Okay. Progress and development. Okay. So
Yes,
what is development? What is actually progress?
yes,
So if people get more disconnected from the ground, they'll get more diseases, and they'll get more problems, more mental problems. They'll have more mental issues, and
right,
then they'll need all these kind of pharma pills for depression and anxiety and all these things,
right,
and then they'll call that progress.
yes,
Look, we have a shop here giving those pills. We have a hospital, we have a doctor here telling which
yeah,
pills to
that is
take. Now
development.
that's all progress.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes,
We are progressing,
true,
so this is the situation right now. So a whole lot of learning is required right
true,
now.
true,
Only thing is that the atmosphere which is required for learning is not there,
true,
because people have become so used to these things, they take them for granted. They think that it was always like
yes,
that this was always a world full of chairs and sofas. This was
right,
always like this. It wasn't. Okay. But right now people think that. Okay. So
true,
yeah, there is a whole generation right now which is just continuously staring at their mobile,
very true. And the
and
neck
and
is
and
bent
and,
and
and,
your spine is always
yeah,
curved.
and does that thing, and they'll just be playing around with it.
Yes,
Now, how can you teach that being?
yes,
Okay. What is it? I mean, its attention is not available
yes,
for
true,
you to teach
true,
anything. I
yes,
mean,
exactly.
so that's the point we are at. So the basics which I talk about is
Yeah,
like sitting down on the ground, or doing these kind of things, and showing basic respect is very important, because
true,
learning finally is about the behavior. Okay.
yes,
How will you deal with another being? Okay. You're a
true,
being, and there are a lot of beings in this multiverse. Okay. Now you'll have to deal with beings.
right,
Okay. Whether you have the manners to deal
right,
with beings or not. I mean, that is part of learning only.
true,
Okay. And that is a major part of learning, actually.
yes,
If you don't know how to do that, then you're
right,
in trouble. Okay.
yes,
In this whole multiverse.
true,
And what is learning for? What is the main purpose of learning, of any kind of learning?
right,
Is not to get into trouble.
true,
Okay.
yes, yes,
What is the
safeguard your
main, yeah,
interest, yeah,
yeah. What is the main purpose of learning anything, or to not get into trouble, right?
true,
Okay. Yeah. So
right,
behavior is the number one part of it.
true,
How do you behave with higher beings and beings all around you? You know what I'm saying? In the right way possible. For
right,
that, you'll have to take control of your body. You'll have to have the right manners and everything.
yes,
And so that's where the whole guru disciple thing was based on those manners and that respect and that behavior only.
yes,
So Rishi will teach that behavior to the disciple. So in future times also, that disciple will not get into any kind of trouble with any other beings or anything. They will have enough control, discipline, and
right,
everything to not get into any kind of trouble anywhere in this
absolutely,
multiverse. So that is proper learning. Okay. So
yes,
that's what I wanted to tell people today, that
that's one of the
they should,
basics,
yeah, they should not think that chairs are the way to learning. And even
right,
right now, if you go to so many of these seminars,
Yes.
in this
Everybody's
world.
sitting, yeah.
And everybody's sitting on a chair.
Yeah.
You can go to satsangs, everybody's sitting on chairs. You can go to all these spiritual conferences. That's where
Right.
people are sitting on chairs.
Right.
Everybody has got a chair in the audience, on top of stages. That's what's happening.
Yes.
Sometimes even on stage, at least people stand.
Yes.
Even the keynote speaker will be standing. Everybody will be standing, but the students are all sitting on chairs.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, it's a very strange thing. I mean, I don't understand how this kind of learning, or what
Yes.
kind of learning, can take place through these millions and millions of seminars which are happening all over the earth. But we
Right.
find that people don't have any actual learning at the end of it.
Yes.
The masses of on this earth are still, there's no sort of any kind of like thing you can see that some sort of wisdom or knowledge is going into them.
Right.
You go all around and you find that nothing, no improvement is being seen anywhere.
Very
So
true.
despite millions of these conferences, seminars, retreats, all kinds of things, so
Yes.
there's something is going wrong somewhere at a very basic core level.
Level. Yes.
Okay, so
Um,
that's where the Vedic steps in, because
yes.
Vedic can actually tell you what is going wrong and where at what level. Okay,
Right.
so that's where the solution lies to that, which you don't find in all the other religions on
True.
this earth. Yeah,
True.
yeah, yeah,
Now I agree with you when you
yeah,
always insist that it's important
yeah,
to focus on the basics, and you're
yeah,
always very reluctant to give the higher knowledge to people, because if
yeah,
somebody is not having the right attitude, the right
yes,
bodily behavior,
yes,
how can the person even value what you are imparting?
yeah, yes. I mean, no value, nothing, and they can't actually apply anything,
Exactly.
because when you apply something, you apply with your own body, right?
Yes.
And because practical application on this earth plane
Yes.
happens with your body only. You're going to speak with
True.
your body, you're going to talk with your body, you can walk with your body, you're going to eat
Yes.
using body. Every action you're going to do from the morning to night and even
Yes.
sleeping is going to be using your body. And
Right.
if you don't know how to use that properly, that
Yes.
instrument, I mean, there is no question of learning anything
Yes.
at all of any use. Okay,
Right.
so it becomes so important that people focus on the basics in
Yes.
that way, so, and not jump to this and that, like I want to know this or that thing, or I want to know whether people like what is moon like, what is behind the moon, or
Yeah.
what is, I mean, first, I mean, do you know what is in your body, or what is this, like what
Yes.
instrument do you have? Like, I mean, moon is far
True.
away, your body is right next to you.
Very true.
I mean,
Very true.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you don't know about that, if you know about your body, you will come to know about moon too.
Right.
Okay, okay,
And I
but
think even when you're sitting on the floor, I'm just
yes,
realizing it
yeah,
myself now,
yeah,
that you are forced to keep your spine straight.
straight, yes,
And
yes,
that Merudanda has to be kept straight for any knowledge to seep in, and for us
yes,
to be able to even raise our Kundalini eventually whenever that happens.
yeah, any kind of that thing, whatever you have to do, first you have to have that, and then it's the proper thing to do as well. It looks right. Whenever
Right.
you said you saw those programs where the rishis were teaching under the tree and the
Yes, yes.
disciples were sitting like
Even
that,
the Amar Kathas always
yeah,
have that
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
picture.
yeah. So didn't that scene seem right to you?
It
Didn't it
seems
look
right.
like, did
Yeah.
looks right? It
And
seems
out
right.
in the open, it's
Yeah,
out in the open under a
yeah,
tree, which is the
yeah,
fractal thing also with the
yes,
brain.
yeah. So it looks right to you, isn't it? It seems like, oh, this is the right way to go about it.
Right.
It doesn't, when in the modern classroom and school,
It is
does
all.
that look right to you? Like,
Yes.
does that look in any way
Yes.
right to you?
Right. It's
Like
just a matter of we got used to it, but it's not
yeah,
right. When you
yes, yeah,
kind of analyze it, it's
yes,
definitely not right
yes. So
in comparison.
if we understand this kind of thing first, I think that awareness
Yeah.
by itself has to be said, because no one else is saying it.
Very
Okay,
true.
so I'm finding that I'm the only one who has to come out and speak these things out, because no one else is saying anything against this modern system of
Very
education, modern ways of learning.
true.
So I have to, like, that's why I might raise my voice sometimes about it,
Right.
because I'm the only one who has to say these things, because
Very
no
true.
one is raising these points. I mean, I've
True.
seen all over YouTube and that thing, no one is bringing this kind of point up. Okay, so
True.
so someone has to tell, because I think they are not going towards the Vedic. Problem is that
Oh
majority
yeah.
of the
Right.
people in YouTube and stuff, they're not focusing on the Vedic. They are focusing on different things, like they're coming from like different religions, or they're coming from different things, or people coming from the scientific angle or whatever, but they're not coming from the proper Vedic angle.
Yeah, even if
Which,
you're talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
Vedic, it's more of a, at the higher level, which is astrology level, Vedic cosmology level. But
yeah,
what you're talking about is so important to even understand that level,
yes,
to go
yes,
through this step.
yes,
One will be able to assimilate and accumulate and be able to use that higher knowledge in a better way,
yeah,
rather in the right way. If,
yes. I mean,
if it's
because
done this way.
rishis of yester, the Vedic rishis,
Yes,
will not even say the word Jyotish from their mouth to the
until,
disciples until the disciples are ready to even
yes,
hear that word. Forget about teaching Jyotish.
I know.
Even the
Yes,
word Jyotish, they will not speak from their mouth, or let them speak from their mouth
yes,
until they are ready for that.
yes,
Because these are very advanced tertiary,
right,
secondary, tertiary sciences. They're not a joke. They are
yes,
like, when you go to PhD and like higher studies and that thing, they
true,
are not
yeah.
these basic kind of science. So like, if you don't have any basics, to go into that is useless. It's like you have never done class 1 to 12, but
True.
you want to jump straight into PhD. Like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, that makes no sense
I know.
whatsoever. Like the whole thing, like it makes totally. But right now, it is appealing to people because everyone's egos tells them, yeah, that I can do it.
True.
Yeah, I can learn it. I
Yes.
can just do it. I can get it all, and I can figure it all out, and I can just do it. You know.
True. True.
But the reality is, once they go more and more into it, the more confused they get. The more number of videos they watch, the more number of things they listen to, the more number of that things. The mind gets more and more confused. All this contradictory information comes to them, and they are not able to sort it out. Nothing happens, and it's just like one big jumble of confusion.
True. I think at
And
some level, all of us
yeah,
are becoming more and more narcissistic,
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
an epidemic of narcissism, which
yeah,
is because of this right wrong attitude.
yeah.
I think everybody is just having a wrong notion about themselves, a very grandiose,
Yeah,
arrogant.
I mean, there are some people who are actually saying that I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, I don't know what I'm teaching.
Right.
I really don't know. And people are still trying to learn from those people who are actually coming out in the open and saying that I don't know what I'm teaching. I'm not good at learning, so I don't know
Right.
what I'm teaching.
That's so
But
true.
people are still ready to. So I mean, it has gotten to that level of madness
Yes.
that
Yes.
if they think that something is just giving them information, anyone, whether it's false information,
True.
doesn't matter if it's real information or even if it's false information, they're ready to take it because they
Yeah.
become information junkies. You know,
Yes.
just like
Yes.
how drug addicts need
Right.
drugs, these people need information.
And then the
So
fine difference between information and knowledge is also not understood.
yeah, because information is a pile of, because information can be false or true. It's not
Right.
true by itself just because it's information.
Right.
Okay. So if somebody is teaching like astrology or Jyotish, and they can say all kinds of things, but that is not necessarily may not be true, but it's information regardless.
Right.
And how that adds up to knowledge is totally different.
Yes.
Knowledge is I told you, applicable thing which
Yes.
you can actually apply and work at within yourself. What
Yes.
these
That's a very
people,
good
yeah,
difference you've shown, that
yeah,
information is just everywhere. What you're able to
yeah,
apply becomes knowledge.
yes, yes, and apply, and it gives results.
Yes.
It actually gives results. Like that's knowledge, okay, and results for you directly,
Right. The
not just
information that you apply becomes knowledge, simply.
yeah, yes, and which applies to you directly,
Right.
which you can do
Yes.
right now here.
Right. And
It's
so
not a
you get
theoretical
you get
concept in the brain.
right. And you
Yeah,
get the noses of the situation, the real
yes,
noses
yes,
of the grasp
yeah,
of what it actually means to have
yeah,
knowledge.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's where the whole thing has to start, from the very bottom, and the actual way learning used to happen in the Vedic era.
Yes.
And I'm saying that there's no other way learning is possible. Okay.
Right.
And people are free to try it out, all
Yes.
different ways, whatever they want to. Okay.
Right.
That's that thing that I'm saying, that learning is only possible in that kind of way, in
Right.
where you do all the basics, and you pay it respect to the guru properly and all of that. And then, you progress more and more in time. That's the only way that it happens.
True.
People are free to try. Everyone has free will to try it any kind of way they want, and they
Yes.
have been trying. People are trying to learn from books. People have been trying to learn from videos. People have been trying to learn from all kinds of things. Okay.
True. True.
So and any kind of posture they're sitting, they are doing whatever they feel like right now
Yes.
on this earth,
Right.
and they're trying to learn, and they have to see whether it works or not work. Like what. So they have to come to that conclusion using their own sense, whether it
But
is
then,
actually working or not working
yeah,
for them.
but
Yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah,
we are not here for an unlimited time, and
yes, yes, yes,
one should
yeah,
learn as fast as possible so that you're
yeah.
able to.
So whatever experiments they have to do it quickly.
Right.
So then whenever, like, yeah, so that's what you said, like, people don't even realize that people think that they are here for millions of years,
Exactly. So
the way
it's
they live
not
their
like
life.
you take your own sweet time to understand all these things. You have to
Yeah,
quickly get it and then move on with
yeah,
it.
yeah. Basics can be started any time by any person,
Right.
and they should be, and that we will cover in later times, and
Yes.
I'll give her that thing. But this is first basic thing to understand for people, that what I'm talking about learning.
Yes.
And they have to understand this point very, very clearly, that learning is possible only in a particular kind of way.
Right.
There's the nature, the multiverse has put certain kind of laws, things in place,
Yes.
which only allow learning to happen in a certain kind of way, where humility and is there. Okay.
Right.
Without humility, there's no learning. Okay.
Right.
It's a very simple thing,
Right.
so, and basic.
So again, the
So
body-mind
yeah,
synchronicity is very much
yeah,
important.
yes,
That the
yes,
body
and
can't be in the wrong posture and the mind can't have an open-minded attitude if the body is
yeah,
not in sync with the open-mindedness and the humility that is required to
yes.
do it.
That's why you can't even teach people the basics
Yes.
until they are actually ready to learn those. Even basics are impossible to be taught
Yes.
to
Yes.
anyone who is
True.
not open and is not going to apply it.
Yes.
It's
I
not
agree
just a
that
matter of
people.
somebody saying something or
Right.
showing them something,
Yeah.
but after that they have to apply it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even that cannot be done until all these things are understood, because right now there's a lot of misnomer that how learning can happen,
Right.
and that has to break in the brain first.
True.
Okay. So
True.
people can play this video many number of times and they can analyze how what I'm saying, or like what the way learning happens in this today's world, whether it actually works or it
Right.
does not work.
The whole
Because I've come through
classroom
the same
society.
education system, come through school and university and everything. So have you. So
Right.
have a lot of people. Okay. So they all can look back
Yeah,
and
we can
see
look back.
whether it actually works or it doesn't work, or it leaves you high and dry
Right.
at the end of it. So
In
so
fact, in some universities, you
yeah,
have the seating arrangement is such that it's in a circular fashion, and sometimes the
yes,
student is sitting high
up,
up
and
above,
the
and the
yeah,
professor is
teachers
sitting
down,
standing down
yes,
in a
yes,
circular kind of a
yeah. It was in my
system.
university. It was like that only as well.
Exactly. I'm just
Yeah,
thinking of my time also. That in my
yes,
when I was
yeah,
doing my PhD at that time, we
yeah,
had these rooms which were you're sitting, you're literally looking down upon the teacher,
yes, yes, yes,
and that is.
yes,
And now when you say this, I'm just thinking of that is how wrong that is,
yes,
and
yes,
how much
yeah,
knowledge can you gain from
yeah,
that kind of a
yeah.
scenario.
That's why these things are such a joke, all these educational institutions, and when you come out of it,
Right.
you are none the wiser, as they say.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
then when you went in them,
Right.
like,
Right.
yeah. So that's exactly what happens.
So we are actually living in times which is exactly the opposite of what we should be doing, which is the
Yes,
right way.
yes, yes,
And what we are
yes.
doing is exactly
Yeah.
the opposite of that.
The point I made today is such an important point.
Yes.
Unless this is clear, there's no
Right.
point even going forward or teaching anything.
Right. Right.
Because people have to first make a choice in this
True.
regard. Like, do they really want to learn? Do they really want to evolve? Do
Yeah.
they really want to grow? Do they really want good for themselves? Do they really
Right.
want to get out of pain and torture and hell? Do they really want all of these things? If
True.
you really want, then only you really want to learn. And then when you really want to learn, then you will be ready to do what is required for learning.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So, yeah.
I completely agree with you.
Yes.
So I think we'll take one basic at a time. So
Yes.
today we've got this from you, and if you
Yes.
would like to add something more to this, otherwise we'll take another one next time so that
No, this is fine. I think this is enough of a point to grasp. It's a very
Yes,
important point.
exactly. Yes.
It has to be grasped first
Yes.
before any further movement
Exactly.
towards learning happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
further learning cannot happen until this basic has been
Yes. Yes.
becomes
Yeah.
a part
Understood.
of our understanding. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That's why understood means standing understood.
Understood. Right. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not standing over,
Yes. Absolutely.
standing under.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, all knowledge and all learning is about understanding. You're so right that
Yeah. Yeah.
we're standing under to get learning.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Thank you
Yes,
so
Roshni.
much, Prash, and we'll keep it at this much today. And next
Yeah,
time we'll come back with another basic lesson from you. But once we have, of course, started to implement this, then
yeah,
only can we move forward. And
yeah.
thanks again for helping us understand this and for showing the difference between what we are doing in the modern times and what actually is the Vedic way to learn. And
Yes.
I hope that our audiences are able to learn from this. And we'll come back with something else next time. So thank you so much and namaste.